Attention! Listen up. The Germans are
Oh, a tank mission.
We have to stop them before they reach the River Seine. There is no time to lose. Move up!
I'm starting to notice a trend with the way this game, the original game, and partially Call of Duty 2 were made. The Soviets by far have the best parts of both campaigns, and Call of Duty 2 if you want to throw that in.
Keep your eyes open, men!
It's like they have the most motivation to fight, the missions feel a little bit more grounded in what they're doing. There's definitely more emotion put into the dialogue, there's more personality in what characters there are, even though the characters in these don't really have a lot of personality, because it's not the way the games were made yet. We didn't start getting to the point where people had, like, over-the-top or memorable personalities until, like, COD 3 kinda started it with their, the way they were telling the story, but COD 4 for sure. But, like, in the first two CODs, yeah, it was really, the Soviets had, like, the best campaigns in terms of, like, emotion and things they were actually fighting for. The Americans had the best, second best parts of the campaign just because they were involved in a lot of memorable things, like the Battle of the Bulge and stuff like that. They just have interesting battles that are well documented and everybody knows. And then the British campaigns, honestly, just kind of aren't that good. The British campaigns are by far the weakest part of all the games that I mentioned. Especially, like, in the base game, like, the Tirpitz mission, we talked about it a few episodes ago, it was the best British mission, but it was still not that good of a mission. And then in this game, you have the SOE missions, which have interesting plot points, and they're, like, more action-packed. I think that's a little bit more to, like, make up for the lack of actual things that are interesting in the British campaigns. And that's just the trend that I've noticed, and I don't think it's because historically the British weren't involved in anything interesting. I just think by comparison in the way the developers wanted to tell the stories of this game, they just kind of got the short end of the stick, for lack of a better term, because there's not a lot of exciting stuff left over. Damn, they are hitting me hella hard. Who is shooting me with the Panzerfaust? Why can't I turn? Is spacebar the center button? Okay, I don't know. Let's just try to get out of here. Because, like, you also kind of have to think in the base COD game, 2 of the British missions lasted, like, 4 minutes each, and they were both kind of driving missions. And that's kind of boring. Especially considering we already did the driving mission with the Americans in the first part. Which they also did again in this game, but they did it better with the turret section, I think. In my opinion, I think the turret section for the Americans in this game was better. And then the motorcycle escape was kind of interesting, but it wasn't the entire mission, which I appreciated, so... Like, a lot of thoughts that don't really matter, but it's just, we're talking. We're talking for the sake of the Let's Play. And I kind of have a fresh, unnostalgic, biased opinion on it because I've never played these games. My first COD game was Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. Going forward, I kind of went along the path that it came out, and then I went back to the original COD 2 when I got my Xbox 360. And then I had never played the first game and then the expansion pack, so... This is like my genuine first reaction to these games. And don't let me critiquing them, like, make it out to sound like I'm saying they're bad. They're not bad. It's just... the storytelling is a little weak. In some aspects. Not the Soviets. The Soviets have, like I said, by far the most interesting parts of both stories. Both games, rather. Oh, another tank mission. I don't know if we needed another tank mission. Because, like, looking at the Wikipedia, because I have to look at the wiki to schedule or title my videos so I know what mission I'm playing. The Soviet campaign technically has one more mission than both the American and the British campaigns in this expansion. And if it's only because there's an added tank mission, I don't know if it was necessarily worth it. Like, obviously, extra content and more content is never going to be a bad thing, but tank missions are generally not my favorite type of mission, like, especially in Battlefield games. Tank missions in Battlefield games, unfortunately, sometimes ruin the flow of the game for me. Like, in Bad Company 2, the heavy metal, I think is what it's called, mission. That's just kind of 7 minutes of gameplay that isn't needed, in my opinion. And again, my opinions aren't fact, they're just the way I think. If you disagree with me, disagree with me. It's fine, we can have different opinions and still be friends, but I don't know, vehicle missions get a little bit boring for me sometimes unless they're done super well. Like, I think the plane mission in this game for the British, that was good. It was a little confusing at some points, but it was a good mission. If you're gonna base an entire mission around one vehicle section, that is. Otherwise, like, the turret section in the campaign, in the American mission earlier is also pretty good. But that's a lot of rambling for what's actually going on. I'm almost dead. Look at I'm one shot, dude. Like, let me Far Cry 2 this and get out of my vehicle and hit the repair button real quick. We are hurt. What is my objective? Eliminate the German roadblock. Proceed to the town of, oh my god, Prokhorovka. Sure, I said that right. I've never mispronounced any other languages ever. Not a single time. I'm flawless. I am semi-fluent in 137 different languages, including Mandarin Chinese. And just don't ask me to say anything in Mandarin Chinese, or you might be embarrassed by how actually smart I am. So whenever I was just looking at that, it checked off the task to reach the town. Does that mean this is the town? Sideways screenshot, that might be the thumbnail. I don't know, these tank missions are hard to get thumbnails for because there's nothing really to look at. Okay, where are we going? I can't move. What am I stuck on? I'm a tank. Is that a rock or a tank? Those are tanks. Okay. They're actually shooting at me now. I don't like this.
Enemy tanks to the west.
Please, just don't shoot me. I know sitting still in a tank battle is not the way to live, but don't shoot me. Oh my god, stop hitting me. Please stop hitting me. Like, it's so not nice to hit me. If you keep hitting me, I'm going to tell Mom. Damn, I can't hit this guy. He zigged when I zagged.
Attention, please. May I have your attention? In 20 years in this great army, I have never seen a group of men fight with the kind of bravery you have shown today. I am honored to call you my comrade.